Alright, looks like it is ready to go. Quick audio test. Do I got stuff coming through? I'm not hearing anything. Alright, looks like it is... Oh, that's really weird. Let me guess. I forgot to change my playback device. Aha! There we go. There we go. Much better. So, hello everyone. This is Chris Ingerson, and it is February 11th, and this is the February 11th TextQuest Dev Stream. It is Thursday, so we are going to be doing programming. And in particular, we're going to be focusing on fixing a lot of issues with the code that make it sort of cumbersome to test. So right now, I have a hero object in the scene. The hero is the player character. So I come over here and see it. You know, it's just the word hero. And if that's in the scene, I hit play here. Everything will go just fine. We'll spawn in. We'll be able to move around. And we can do basically everything we want. Everything's fine. But if I don't have the object in the scene, or if I disable it, as soon as I hit play, then that will happen. We won't spawn a player, and we're going to get a null reference exception. And that is because at the beginning of every level, we have a check to see what our substances should build at, to see what their file or their texture resolution should be. And that's not great. So I'm going to focus on chat tonight, or not on chat, on the stream tonight, mostly getting these sort of cumbersome problems out of the way so that I can do faster iteration and faster playtesting. So the first thing we're going to do is basically make it so that whenever a singleton object is needed, it's going to spawn in the global object, if it's not already in the scene. And that's because currently I sort of have this weird structure where I have a global object that's meant to be sort of the class that things can pipe through if they're needed. And originally, I tried to make it so that all of these instances, all these different singleton classes, like the resolution manager, the controls manager, the texture manager for substance stuff, all that stuff was independent. But then that was sort of like grabbing a bunch of different objects and spawning them in at multiple times, and then you'd have a lot of clutter in the hierarchy. So instead, what I would like to do, I would like to try this, is basically move a bunch of my singleton classes to be below global. And you can see that oh really? I have two substance managers. Well, that's interesting. Let's go ahead and fix that. That was weird. Let's delete that. Not sure why that was the case. So basically, what we want to have happen is this global object should always be in the scene, because it has references to. Well, actually, that's the thing, is that the global object itself doesn't have references to these. But to sort of make sure that things always get loaded correctly, I'm basically going to force it to load this object because it's going to have all of the singleton classes that I need underneath it. So there's my substance manager, there's my scene loader, which means that I don't even need the scene manager anymore. I can just do the scene loader. Sound manager, inventory, all this stuff. All these are necessary classes for the functioning of the game, so I might as well just load them all at once. Which is normally something that I would argue against. You don't want to spawn everything until you need it. But in this case, there are things that are used so frequently and so sporadically that it would be good to just have them there and not have to worry about them again. So, let's clear this. The main way to do this is I've added a little function that's just called get. And it's a generic function that takes a generic class T, as long as that class derives from mono behavior at some point. And what it's going to do is it's going to look at the instance of global, and it's going to look at the children objects of global and get the component that was requested. So this instance here, global is a singleton class, which means that basically everything that's referenced in it is going to be static. But when you reference it, it's going to spawn itself into the scene if it doesn't already exist. If it does not already exist. Not if it doesn't already exist. That's terrible grammar. And basically this means that we will always have access to our singletons this way. So all we have to do to make sure that this works is replace sort of the previous calls to the singleton stuff in individual classes. So let's go to Substance Manager first, because that's the one that's giving us the error right now. So right now you can see that we have this singleton setup where we have a static instance, and then whenever this instance is called on, it's going to spawn itself, basically. Except this one actually, this is me starting to move over to the sort of singleton underneath a parent singleton workflow. So it doesn't actually spawn itself, it just looks for itself. And then it will return that, and then everything will be fine. So this is the reason why we want to have just global spawning with everything underneath it, so we don't have objects sort of creating themselves sporadically. So let's see here. All we need to do is, I bet it's going to be this. Texture size. Or texture size value, actually. Final references. It's been a while since I've worked on this. Nope, that's all being used inside of Substance Manager. Which means it must be this. Ah! Okay, one of these things. I know that this is definitely going to be one. Final references. Right there, text plus scene loader. But that in and of itself is also a singleton class. So, maybe it's this. Find all references. There we go, level manager. So now instead of doing this, we're basically going to change this from a static class. We're going to get rid of all this. And we're just going to make everything local. Which seems like sort of a step backwards, but it's actually going to be pretty nice, and I'll show you why in a second. So get rid of all these static things. Don't need instance. Alright, so all that's there. And now instead of substance manager.build materials, we're going to call global.get substance manager, and there we go. That's all that's going to do. And in doing this, it's actually going to guarantee that it's going to spawn the global object. So it's not a whole lot of extra code, and it means that we don't have to have like a bunch of static calls inside of our classes, which is actually pretty nice. Ah, the rare sloth with dudes, or I guess one of them. Thanks for stopping by the stream. I think you guys have been on before. I assume you haven't. At least you haven't talked if you have. Doing programming tonight, so hopefully you'll find that enjoyable. Anyway, where was I? So that's the substance manager. So now, if we play, it might not spawn our hero object. Oh, look at that, we have an error. Oh, right. So we're going to have global.get substance manager build progress. Let that load. We'll see where else we have errors. I'm guessing right here. Oh, that seems to be the same thing. Oh, there we go. Well, we're not going to be doing anything too crazy. I'm not a low-level programmer, so we're not doing C++ here. But we'll have some discussions on singletons, if you've ever worked with them, or if you haven't. Then hopefully this will be an educational stream for you. So now when we play, it should spawn everything correctly. So we don't get the error, but it's not going to spawn in our hero yet. And that is another thing that I am going to fix tonight. I have it so that the hero doesn't spawn until it's called on. That's not great. It should always actually be spawned whenever the level starts. So if we come over here to Level Manager, which is the base class for all of our level stuff, we actually are going to want to go to... So we have onLevel load complete right here. And I think I'm just going to get rid of this, actually. Oh, I bet I know why I got rid of that, too. That's no fun. So the reason I got rid of that was because I didn't want my hero object spawning in the main scene, which is the main menu scene. But that's a sloppy way to do it. So now if we come back here, it should actually spawn my player character whenever I play the scene. Like, all the time now. Although, depending on if it's straight in the scene from the editor, it might not actually. So this will be a fun educational thing to check. I don't think it actually will. No, it doesn't. Because in the editor, funny thing, the editor doesn't do on-level load when you play a scene directly, which is fine. And that means that I need to just come down here and go to start if Unity editor. We're just going to do this. And we will just say on level load complete. Now if we come back, it should spawn the player character. And I just threw this check in because this is actually here specifically for when you play directly in the scene, because it has to do some sort of weird things to force it to accurately set everything up. Because normally there's some bit of tie-in to the previous scene that was loaded or to the main menu. So now we go. There we go. It's really nice, really easy. So now I don't have that really, really tedious sort of workflow where I have to drag in the hero object and then maybe drag in the global object too. I don't have to worry about it. Now whenever I play a scene, it just works, which is really, really great. So we're going to go ahead and clean up the rest of our singleton classes real quick. So we have this warning here, which is on our inventory. So our inventory is going to have to change as well. And this one wasn't great. Let me go ahead and get rid of it. Get rid of all of these static instances. And oh, by the way, before I forget, congratulations on you guys launching into beta. I meant to congratulate you guys a long time ago. I never did. I feel bad about it. For those of you who don't know, the Raresoft team is currently doing a beta of the sequel to their previous iOS game, Redemption. And you should go play it. The original one. I'm not sure how the beta process works. I don't remember what you guys have set up for that. Let's see. Get rid of static. Get rid of static. It really is just kind of a nasty setup that I have going here. This is all really old code too, which makes it even worse. Hello, Quantum Thinker. I am doing well. I'm feeling a lot better. Tuesday's stream was kind of disastrous because I slowly became ill over the course of the stream. So it was a little ugh. But feeling much better doing programming today. Everything feels good. How about you? We got a lot of old junk code in here that I need to come through and just get rid of. Oops. And probably shouldn't do that while I'm just meant to clean things up a little bit. Get rid of all the static stuff. All the static. This is going to be fun because this is going to be a huge number of errors since there were a lot of things looking at inventory. So now when we come back, we're going to get a bunch of errors. Well, okay, one script at a time, bunch of errors, but so global.get inventory contents. Just copy that. Save that out. We can scroll down here. That is one thing I really like about Visual Studio, the red icons on the sidebar that let you know where your errors are. Oh, that's brutal. Um, did any of the interviews that you had set up call back, or you still? I guess depending on what company they are, they could take a while, which is always a annoying part of the job process. Let's see, inventory, inventory, inventory. And in actuality, I'm going to do this. So I might as well keep this efficient while we're doing it. Cached inventory. Private inventory. Cached inventory. Get return cached inventory. Cached inventory. And if not, cached inventory equals that. So say cached inventory each time. Cached inventory. So then we're not having this constant sort of global.get. We only need to do it once. But we do guarantee that it at least happens. Let that go. Yeah. Well, they don't know what they're missing. Let's see. Cave stairs. Alright, so these are different enough. Ooh, no, definitely not going to do it there. So here, oh wow. Okay, so we definitely need the caching here. And actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Because otherwise I would be constantly requesting the inventory, and that would be terrible. Alright, so global.get inventory, copy that over again, save this out. Let's come back here. Ah, the joys of fixing and changing things by breaking them. So, interactive object. I wonder if I should just have... I probably should. So this is going to be fun. Copy this. Change this to protected. And then we'll go back down here. Cached inventory. All right. Ooh, that's a lot. But that's item. It's item. Haha. But fortunately, since we just made that protected, we can just say cached inventory. And we don't have to really worry about it. Oh, I made that a constant, didn't I? Okay, that's fine. Inventory. So there are a couple of things. Oh, good. Indentation problems. That's always fun. That I would like to experiment with this weekend, and this week apparently in general. Actually, all of Wednesday, I didn't get much work done on TextQuest because I started delving into color grading, which was a fun rabbit hole to go down, because I don't really have much experience with color grading. but it's something that I'm going to need to do at some point for TextureQuest, because that's how you get nice colors in your game. So I just dove straight into what was it, DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve 12, which I have never used before, and I did like 4 hours of tutorials in one day, which was oh so much fun. So color grading is something I'm going to be experimenting with this coming weekend, as is trying to get a lot of fixes done on the management side of TextureQuest, because it's been kind of sloppy. My managerial, my producer person is terrible. Let me just say that. I hate him with all of my heart. All right, this is in cache inventory. Use item zone. Ugh. Do I even use this in anything? I probably do. Well, anyway, let's just scroll back up here. All we have to do is just grab this. Global.get cache inventory. Ooh, or not. It's going to be the exact same thing as this. Oh, crap. Fancy. Just grab that. Cached inventory, and then cached inventory. So if anyone has any good ideas on color grading, feel free to advise me. I might also experiment with Amazon's new game engine, which is